This is where I got to pull this right here in the gravel. And just wanted to show you kind of what I've done. Pretty much pulled the headlights off, got rid of some bracketry right here. Pretty simple. The reason I'm doing that is this thing sits up so high. It's 6 inches, 6-inch lift with 35. So pretty much in order for my hoist to get it out of here safely, especially because I'm on gravel, I'll just pull the condenser, the radiator, get that out of here, evacuate the AC system, kind of push things off to the side, and it'll give me a lot of room to get in here and pull that guy out. All right, you guys, so tomorrow I'm gonna have this evacuated, which is the air conditioner or condenser, and then I'm gonna pull that loose. I'm gonna have a guy from the station come down and do a full evacuation, get that stuff taken care of safely, and I'm not going to do it. Not my deal. Let the pros do that one. I didn't want to spend $1,000 for the equipment or try and rig something up. I just as soon have the guys from the station come out and deal with that. In saying that, they'll evacuate this. I'll get rid of the condenser. And then once I do that, notice how I pulled the radiator out, and we're going to be able to have really good access to this. I also went through and pulled all the plastic out. You can see the motor now, so I can really get in there now and be able to break things free. So anyway, we're getting there. Look what I found underneath the air intake. Looks like cathedral heads, but looks like we got all kinds of mice or something living in there, so not as ugly as it gets. Pulling this thing out, just documenting a little bit more for you guys, show you where it's at. I got the condenser taken out today, got all that evacuated, and pulled out the air intake. And that's what I found underneath. So we're out so far. I gotta tell you, the wiring was some of the most difficult for me and the most concerning. Got that guy out today. And then I took out the fuel rails. Fuel rails are out. Injectors are right there. And there we are. All right, you guys, so if you need to, you gotta get these NOx sensor wires out of here, and then you got to put a 22mm, I think it is, on the sensor itself. Spin that out, and then you should be able to get the cover off. But if you set up a couple of screwdrivers like this to the big flat parts, then you can easily pinch it with two screwdrivers, and then it'll pop out. And then you 22mm. So hope that helped out. All right, you guys, after you get the wire out of there, like I said, put a 22mm in, a deep socket, and I loosened this one off just so I could hold the camera with one hand. And then we're gonna spin this sensor out, and there it is. That's a NOx sensor, from what I understand. Not a mechanic, I'm just a DIYer doing this myself, but that guy's coming out now. I'll get the other one out of there, and valley cover comes up, and I'll be able to put my plate in there. All right, you guys, so this is what I got. We're down to a point where pretty much stripping this guy down. Took out all the plastic and been stripping this thing out. Got the plate in there. That's a valley plate. That will be the plate that I use to pull the motor out. And anywho, just bringing you guys up to speed. You know, I got a lot of people that gave me shit for like doing sound effects on my last video, so we ain't gonna be doing that. And just trying to share what I can with you guys. So hope you like it, and hope it's helpful. But either way, cathedral heads, and what is this? Ooh, 6.0 iron block. So we're gonna build this thing. and she's gonna be mean. All right, guys, getting busy. Everything pulled loose on this thing, and let's see here. Went down and pulled the torque converter bolts off of the flex plate up here. I just went through and I pulled all the torque converter bolts off of the flex plate, and I got a couple more bolts to pull around the motor on the bottom here. And then after that, I'm gonna try and break this thing free. I did get a strap I put across for the transmission. Goes up to the body of the vehicle, comes down, straps down, it goes underneath the pan. I know a lot of people may chime in, that's not cool, but I don't think it's a problem. That's the way I did it. Hopefully it works. I'm sure there may be a better way, but if this works, then I'm good. So anyway. All right, you guys. So she's free. Look at that. She's free. I'm gonna have it out of here pretty quick. I'm on gravel. Had to go with a plywood board there, plywood here, and I'm just gonna have to kind of weasel this out of here. But saying that, it's free. It took forever to break these pins loose. As you can see down here, there's these dowel pins right here. The only thing that got me, saved me on those, was heat. Lots and lots of heat, and lots and lots of shaking. I mean, I'm talking grabbing the engine and like going nuts on it until your like head's like pounding with a headache. And then she finally gave me a little bit of room, and then I broke it free. But you can see it's free, and I'm just doing a final check on it, and I'm gonna lift this out by myself. I did the whole thing by myself, and even on gravel it can be done. I'll show you here when the motor's out, and there you have it. Sitting on 35s, using a hoist. Hopefully don't have to do anything with the hood. I don't think I will, because I took everything out front, but using an LS plate, and that is it. All right, you guys, now it's really free. Thank goodness I pulled the radiator and everything to get this thing free. But I'm one man in this. I pulled this whole thing out myself, broke the dowel pins free, separated the motor, did all of it. It can be done. It's a lot of work, but you can do it, even on gravel with terrible plywood. So wish me luck. I'll show you here when I get it all the way out. You guys, got it out. Got it on the engine stand. There she is. Oh man, this was a nightmare on gravel, you guys. Yeah, it can be done, but set your platform up real nice with your plywood. I had beat up remnant pieces of plywood. I'd recommend, if you're doing it, get some nice plywood, lay it all out, because I struggled by myself. Would have been nice to have someone help me, but hey, you know, I live out in the middle of nowhere. So here's this, and I'll get some more video of that later. But done, pulled. Now we're ready for cleanup. All kinds of cleanup in there, electrical cleanup. I'll dial everything in, hose it down, dial it in, and then this bad boy right here is a 6.0 LQ4 LS. So anyway, get this thing pulled apart, figure out why, see if we see anything suspicious of maybe why I lost the oil pressure I did. Because again, I have done the oil pump, pickup tube, O-ring, bunch of other stuff. And we didn't get the oil pressure back. You probably saw that on other videos. If not, that's what this is all about. Lost oil pressure, couldn't get it back, got back maybe 20%, and thing was just not giving me what I needed. So 230,000 miles, time for a rebuild anyway. Anyway, there it is. Took me a while to get out, but I did it. All right, you guys, so I got it out of the truck and pulled out the, I guess the rockers, and now I'm going through and gonna pull the heads. You can see I got a few bolts, 2 of them in particular need to be taken out. Studs that broke off from the exhaust manifold, but about ready to pull these heads off and see what it looks like underneath there. All right, I got the head pulled off and I got the lifters out, and looks pretty decent in there. The bores look good from what I can see. So anywho, looking good. I'm gonna duplicate the other side, get rid of that, and come around, strip off the harmonic balancer, get rid of the cover, pull the oil pump, get rid of the pan today, get rid of the flex plate, and I think I'll take it to the machine shop with just the pistons, the crank in there, and I'll pull the cam as well and get some work done on this thing. All right, you guys, so I found the problem with my oil pressure. Went to pull the cam out, and as I was coming out, I was having difficulty, and I suspected originally a spun bearing, but I don't know if you guys can see this, but that right there is a spun bearing. Do you see that? You can see that right down in there, you can see that the cam is all scratched up, and you can also see that bearing floating around down there. All right, hey guys, got it in the back of my truck, put it on a tire, and gonna tie it down, use my hoist, went in no problem, and off to the machine shop tomorrow, see what happens, see if they can repair it or not. All right, so I'm heading to the machine shop. I got the 6.0 block in the back. It looks like I either spun a bearing or the bearing walked. Looks like on the second or third one in from the front there. And I got it halfway out and decided to kind of just let the machine shop take it from here, because they got to go in there and clean it up anyway. So they're going to make a determination, I think, on whether or not it's salvageable for them. And if it is, green light, good to go, get the thing cleaned up, dialed in, and then figure out the build as I go. So I also have the heads. As a matter of fact, I have the heads. They're the 6.0 Cathedral aluminum heads, but they got 230,000 miles on them too, so probably a full valve job there. But I'm going to see what kind of work they can do on them. Definitely going to get them cleaned up, make sure they're not warped, of course, and then there's a couple of exhaust manifold bolts on each one that popped, and I guess that's common, but it happened pretty early on that motor. I lost them, and the closest to the firewall on each side. So anyway, that's it, and I'll keep you posted. See where it goes. See ya.